What's up, sports fans? I'm KC James with this NBA Special All-Star Report. And you know how I do it? I give you the 411 and I keep it real. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Well, we wrap up things here from the Big Easy All-Star Weekend, and it was on and cracking as we saw the highest scoring game in NBA All-Star history. 318 total points scored as the East came back from 18 down to run past the West 163 to 155 in a game that was all that. Young stud point guard of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Kyrie Irving, going for 31 and 14 dimes, was the game's MVP. Kevin Durant of the West threw in 38 as he's on his way to his fourth consecutive scoring title and what I say is going to be an MVP regular season. Along with Blake Griffin also threw down 38, and I mean throw down, as he played the entire game above the rim. The dude who I like to call the human helicopter was high flying and throwing them down like nobody else's business, as he had 19 field goals to set an NBA All-Star record, and I think all of them were throwdown highlight jams. Again, it was a great game from a fan's perspective. They saw guys go out and get it done, and it was fun, and it was what an all-star game should be all about. When you talk about the state of the game in the association, Adam Silver, who's taken over as commissioner for a long time, Commissioner David Stern, and you have got so many young, talented, stud players in the association right now because it is all good in the NBA neighborhood. When you look at guys like Kevin Durant and Blake Griffin, who I already talked about, LaMarcus Aldridge and Damian Lillard of the Portland Trailblazers, Steph Curry of the Warriors, who's an absolute witch and can light it up, might be the best pure shooter in NBA history. He's the purest I've ever seen. Anyway, you look at that guy, Kevin Love, James Harden, against so many good players. Guys like Dwight Howard in the West and Chris Paul are old men at 30 and 29 years old. On the eastern side, Paul George of the Indiana Pacers is becoming a superstar right before our eyes, along with his teammate and all-star teammate Roy Hibbert, David West, and those guys getting it done for the Indiana Pacers. And you look at two players like DeMar DeRozan, Kyrie Irving, who I mentioned, who won the MVP in that game. I mean, the East is loaded, the West is loaded, and the association has some great young talent and great players. The future is bright for the NBA. As we head down the stretch, only 30 games left, and you look at the Western Conference, first of all, it is going to be an absolute war, a dogfight. The OKC Thunder with the best record in the association because Kevin Durant has just been carrying that team on his back and lighting it up. Serge Ibaka, who could have been in this All-Star game because he's been playing at an All-Star level, is getting it done. Reggie Jackson, that bench is playing well. They're well coached by Scott Brooks. They made it all the way to the finals a couple of years ago, and if they get Russell Westbrook back healthy, I mean, they are more than going to be a team to be reckoned with in the Western Conference. The San Antonio Spurs, yeah, I know they're old and slow and all that, but they're old and slow every year, and they just keep showing up. And if they're healthy going into the postseason, that will be a team that knows how to get it done. Of course, 4 championships since 1999, 3 future Hall of Famers and a future Hall of Fame coach in Greg Popovich. The Houston Rockets starting to figure it out. Dwight Howard playing much better as of late, averaging 22 and 12 the last 6 games as the Rockets have been on a 6 game win streak. James Harden, fear the beard. We know he can score like nobody's business, and this guy gets to the free throw line like it is just on the regular. So that team's starting to play well under Kevin McHale and understanding how to get it done. The Clippers have gotten Chris Paul back, and you throw him with his helicopter teammate, the human helicopter, as I mentioned, Blake Griffin. Andre Jordan is the big key piece to what they might do in the postseason under Doc Rivers, and they're all starting to come together. And then the team I really like is the Portland Trailblazers. I mentioned Damian Lillard, LaMarcus Aldridge. You throw in their third wheel, Nicholas Batum, and he is getting it done offensively and defensively. They're well coached by Terry Stotts. That is going to be a very, very dangerous team come playoff time in the Western Conference. And you got the Dallas Mavericks, the Golden State Warriors, and a couple of others in there too. And you look at the East, well, it is a two-horse race. The two-time defending champion Heat with the King, and LeBron, I mean, we all are still witnesses. He still is the best player in the game, even though he may not win the MVP this year, and he will have a lot to say about who hoists that trophy in June and who gets more jewelry. They're looking for 3 in a row. But I think the team that will pull the rug out from under the Heat and cool off Miami and knock them off their championship throne is the Indiana Pacers. With Paul George, I mentioned, and Roy Hibbert, David West, who gets it done at the power forward, will get in there and bang and rock with you. And Lance Stevenson, a beast, a guy who's putting together triple doubles. You got George Hill at the point. They got depth. Danny Granger has come back now. He used to be their best player. Now he comes off the bench, well coached by Frank Vogel, and I think that is going to be the team that comes out of the East. Any way you look at it, it is going to be a great stretch run in the association, and I'll be right here to break it all down for you. I'm KC James, and you know how I do it. I give you the 411 and I keep it real. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. I'll see you next time right here on the NBA Report.